I think.
I'd like to call the meeting to order for November 3rd, 2025 at 6 o'clock here at the town hall. Is there any changes on the agenda? Need a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved, Claire.
All in favor? Any opposed? Approved minutes of regular meeting October 6th, 2025. We had discussed this at our last meeting and there were some questions about the minutes. And if you had a chance to look at or review the minutes and also the recording. Is there any changes to the minutes? I'm asking the board.
I don't know what,
I guess I missed that, I didn't reread them, so.
but it says nowhere in it, does it say we authorize Morgan to set with Peyton Lake.
Oh, his name was mentioned.
It's just mentioned, but it's not authorized
We
there.
didn't,
Tim Morton, I mentioned Tim Morton's name, I don't know how many times, that we ought to hire him because it didn't cost the town any money, and his name don't even appear anywhere. And does it appear in your minutes, or Anna's minutes, or Kathy's minutes?
Do you have an amendment, do you wanna make your minute? Do you have an amendment that you wanted to make for the meeting?
So, well, I think that we should eliminate the last sentence where it says we authorize Morgan to.
I thought I had after the fall. She's
What
gonna
happened
call.
in the October 20th meeting, when we had this discussion, he felt that John's point is made, it says he said the minutes directed Morton Wilbur to contact the Hayden Lake about forestry work about the garage, at the garage and at the town lane in Chester Road, but he didn't feel that was a decision of the select board. Wendy Morton said her notes said to have Wilbur check with Lake. Suzanne Welch also said her notes said for Lake to assess the logging. Buzz Fisher suggested watching the meeting recording back and approving the minutes at the following meeting. I did watch the meeting back. And I think perhaps I know that Morgan was directed to talk with Hayden Lake in the minutes, that's true, but also we did talk about, in the discussion, there was mention of the forester.
And I have in mind, check with State Forester and Hayden Lake, Morgan to check.
So what probably should be amended in the minutes saying, it should say Morgan to check with or to. The original minutes, sorry, hold on a second. That's also small. Oh, the board, it says the board agreed to ask Morgan Wilbur to contact Hayden Lake to begin the process. It should be amended to say the board agreed to ask Megan Lake to contact Morgan, sorry, to contact Hayden Lake and the forester to begin the process.
We didn't do that, we didn't ask her to contact Hayden Lake.
I have it in mind.
It is in the minutes,
It's not on fact TV though.
I thought that's what I heard.
We had discussed.
I thought it was to look in who did the last.
Yeah, we thought you might.
Yeah, the contract.
Mark did.
Right, I don't think he's not beginning the
Yeah.
process of foresting, he's
Right.
beginning the
This-
figuring out what we're
Figuring
doing.
out what-
Yeah, oh no, this is not saying he's gonna go forest it, it's just, let's find out what's been done and just the initial stages. So maybe that's, I think that was the intent.
And we did talk about.
I don't know, Tim was up there today checking the dots. Tim Martin was up there checking the land out.
Yeah, but
I don't
So
know.
I also had heard that Morgan was going to, in the many sentences and many comments, that we were initiating the process, she should call Hayden Lake or contact him to find out what he has done in the past, and that we also would look into force. We're looking into initiate the process.
Is
To
that,
me,
is that on there?
this is not on here now, so it should be, I think the intent,
Who took the minutes?
Wendy did,
Wow.
and she spoke on the 20th about it. That's how I suggest I think this can go on for a long time, but I think it's what the intent was behind contacting Hayden Lake. The contacting Hayden Lake was to find out any background information and who knows what.
Why he did it?
Right, and some history, and then the contact whoever all else, and if that's unclear, they should be amended to, I think the intent is misinterpreted by all of us.
And I also brought up at that meeting that we should contact Tim Morton, because then it wouldn't cost the town any money.
That's,
His name is not mentioned anywhere.
and then that should be, it should be amended to include that as well.
Yeah, I think that was our first intent, and somebody mentioned that Hayden might have already marked it and wanted to know something.
We didn't finish the job before.
No,
I said he marked the previous job, because some reason,
Okay,
Tim
that's what it was.
So
It's just the idea, 2 years down the road, somebody's gonna wanna look back on it and see what it said.
no, so I agree,
just,
let's clarify, so we should make an emotion to clarify, or revise the October 6th minutes to include that, that we were going to contact Hayden Lake to find out what he had done in the past, and contact Tim, say his name, Morton, the forester, to also see options for moving forward. Does that work? That would be my motion. I don't want a second.
Are you good with it?
mhm.
We'll start.
Okay.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
So no further discussion, all in favor, the clarification? Aye, any opposed? The ayes have it.
Great.
Any other discussion on October 6 minutes other than the clarification? Minutes of October 20th. Any corrections or additions? Do I have a motion to accept those minutes?
I'll move to accept the minutes.
I will second the motion as well.
I wasn't here, so.
All those in favor of the, accepting the minutes of October 20th, 2025?
Aye.
Any opposed? And Steve was not at the meeting. Minutes of the special meeting, October 27th, 2025. Any additions or corrections?
No. Did you say move to approve?
Yep.
I'll second that.
All in favor of accepting the minutes of special meeting, October 24th, 27th, sorry, 2025.
Aye.
Right.
Any opposed? Minutes passed. Highway report.
First thing is to award the bid to the truck.
Okay. I think all of us had a chance to look at all the bids.
Mhm. Yes.
I think the one that we favored most was the lowest bidder,
Yeah, I could just, uh,
Benson.
Benson Chevrolet,
Inc.
Vehicle cost was 82,117. The trade value was 24,750. The total cost with the trade was 57,367. The additional fees were due at delivery, registration fee $15, title fee $50, and the dock fee was $288.
You said, Dave, that's also a diesel
And-
one, the 1 ton, so it's actually.
Well,
And it does have all the specs that we wanted, including the plow.
Mhm.
Sure.
Anything else I missed?
Are you making a motion to approve to,
I'm asking, the board if they need a motion to approve. Basins Chevrolet Incorporated for the truck.
I'll make a motion to award Benson Chevrolet for the lowest bid, the highest trade-in, and upgrades for
Right.
diesel on the 1 ton.
All those in favor?
I need
Second
a
it
second.
first.
Oh, you said, sorry. Did anybody second it?
Yeah, Steve.
Dave? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Any further discussion on the bid? Any other business under highway before Dave does a report?
When would we be getting this? I just.
Wasn't it January something?
Okay.
It's required by January first, but when I contact them tomorrow, there may be a chance. It
Okay.
could come sooner, I'm not sure yet, but. It's
I had
required.
Morgan, I asked her earlier, when she talked to them, see when they thought, so we could look stuff off the other truck.
Right.
So Morgan, you'll call on the date of arrival, maybe sooner than January of 2026.
Yeah, I can chat with them tomorrow.
Dave,
We're pretty much ready for winter, we've been going around. Doing a little cleanup on ditches and stuff and. With the wind, we didn't have that many trees down, we got 3 of them, we gotta go pick up. I was hoping this great sun, but it looks like it's gonna rain this week, so. We might spread a little gravel, and the trailer is all welded up and painted, and tomorrow we hope put the rest of the planks on it, they'll be out of the shop.
Nice.
thank you for doing that, and the guys.
Yes.
For the planks lost part, it's ready to go.
Yeah, pretty much, it's all wired and everything. We only got the planks in the back to do, we've done the rest of the trailer. That's all I really have.
Any other comments from the board for Dave? Anybody out in the public? Comments? Dave, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Clerk and treasurer, does Kim have anything?
The only thing I have is there's a cemetery deed, which Steve has in front of him, that is for Henry Rounds Jr. and Cindy Rounds to purchase a plot in the Burgess Cemetery. So for fine with that, I would just need a motion to approve Steve to sign that cemetery deed.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor of Steve signing that deed for Henry and Cindy Rounds at Burgess Cemetery?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
That's it, that's all I have for him.
Can I just ask a question about budget meetings coming up? Should give a date. Are we still waiting on Marty?
I'm still waiting to hear from the party, but he'll be in the office tomorrow, so I'll ask him.
Committee report, cemetery.
I don't have any.
Only a question I have, I know, we're gonna look at, the bids later on for the cemetery mowing and fall cleanups, do you have a date in mind, Morgan, when you wanna do that? Cause I know you'd shared the bid, proposal that we accepted in, to make any changes, so I think we should be thinking about what we wanna put in that. Especially removal of leaves and brush and trimming, so. Will you maybe let us know?
The only thing is typically we put it out, advertise it to go out to bid like February, March time. So I would say definitely we should be talking about it before then, but open to suggestions from now until then.
Okay,
We can edit as we go.
Parks Committee,
Along the same lines, addressing just anything that needs to be altered in the bids for next year. I did go up into the village park here. And I talked to Dave about it briefly. I went after I talked to you, to look at whatever is needed in terms of, the open space of the park. I know there's been input that we want to ask, for the town, or I suspect, to mow along the driveway a couple of times a year, or whatever is reasonable. And for the person the vendor that's taking care of the parks, there's just some trim areas that are half done and things like that, so I would try to make it my business in years two, whenever, between now and then, to look at the different parks and see if there's anything to be added on. I do think it should be clarified at the village center, I mean, at the village park. I would think maybe we could go through once and just trim down the spots so that we have a clean slate going forward, to make sure those are, it's tight. There's a lot of buckthorn that's growing up down in the, not a lot, but a good amount within the mowed areas that really should just, once we cut it down, that once weed whacking is done on a regular basis, we could keep it down. So that was that, and I also did go up and check out the gazebo, and which is a pretty cool, I know, historic structure. Like little hobbit house, pretty sturdy, there are some random nails and things like that. That we should take a look at. I don't think it's remotely about to fall apart at all, and it'd actually be incredibly hard to move. We put forward old cement and there's nothing moving, so it's really a cool structure. I really hope that we
something
can
we could say,
absolutely save it, and in its spot is kind of grown into the habitat, and just make sure that there's sort of the random things like nails sticking out, stuff that aren't sticking out. So that's all I had, and while I was at it, I was gonna go look at the other parks, just to make sure that our language was clear on our bid documents. That's all I have to report.
yeah, thanks for that.
And I agree, I was up there 2 weeks ago, and they're not falling down. It's been major low attention.
Yes. And the one, well, and the second one is pretty cool structure. A really neat town. I don't know who made it and how long ago, but it's got some life to it, so.
But the Historical Society must have a lot of that information, you think?
Well,
We talked about it.
and Patsu is gonna go up as well, and I called Patrick and he was not able to go this weekend with me, so I went anyway, and. Yeah, I think they probably do, it's kind of neat, so.
Highway Committee, anything? We've, other than we've received several applications, right?
That would come in personally, yeah, we have.
Personnel committee, I sent the board today some information to look over on our, parental family leave. I sent you some dialogue that I had with VLCT to look that over. And, there's a lot there that we need to think about. And, personnel committee will be reviewing the existing parental family leave. It will need some updates. And we'll discuss that, with the select board later this month. And I just hope that each of you could, give the personnel committee some, of your thoughts. How we can do some updating and make some amendments.
I see the email, I haven't heard it, so.
No, there's a lot there that I put in. I'm sorry I gave it to you today. I should have given it to you a couple of days ago.
Kathy, one of the things, we start getting Michelle going on some of the things that Morgan is doing.
Morgan did give me a list of some things, she's looking at when she's not here. We need to probably talk more to Michelle on how she wants to fit the time in. We did come up with some suggestions. Morgan had jotted those down. Adding a couple, 2 or 3 hours a week more for Michelle. That all has to be discussed with the budget and with the board, so I hear what you're saying.
Before we know it, February's gonna be here.
I know.
Uh.
She could be doing some shadowing, if she wishes, with Morgan. I think it's gonna be up to Morgan. Morgan's schedule too, so. We can look at that. Any other thoughts?
Sounds good.
July 2023 flood update, anything from you, Morgan?
Nothing.
Nothing. Any other business?
I have one piece of other business, real quick. The planning commission has been working on applying for a municipal planning grant to help update the town plan. It expires in 2028, but we're hoping that with this funding, they can hire a consultant to kind of spearhead it forward. That application was due today at 6 o'clock, and I was able to get it in the nick of time. Part of that, though, was for the select board to approve a resolution form, which essentially gives the town permission to seek funding from the Vermont Department of Housing and Community Development. Within that, it also authorizes me as the town administrator to be the municipal and authorizing official, which can then handle the application and signing grant agreements if it is awarded to the town. Because the application was due today, I reached out to them and asked if the board could sign it this evening and then I could send it later, and they said that they would be fine with that.
Oh, good.
So if the board's acceptable of that, I just have this one form for each of you to sign.
Okay.
And I'm familiar with it from being on the planning commission as well.
You need a motion?
Yes, please. It would just be a motion to approve the municipal resolution for the municipal planning grant used to update the Grafton town plan.
So no.
Second.
Perfect.
You already said.
Thank you, Morgan, for
Those are the-
your time on that.
Can you vote on that motion?
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Can I ask a quick question? When you are on leave, will, Michelle take over as a signing person? How will that work? Is that something we need to discuss?
Yeah.
Just not just on this.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we can look at, I don't anticipate a lot to come up in the meantime. But it is something that we can discuss kind of
Figure out how to
internally
do
and
that.
figure out how to handle that,
Okay,
yeah.
something we should think about.
Wendy does have a piece of other business.
Okay. Wendy,
You're on your own business, it's really hard to do. Anyway, you know, the holiday festival is December 6th, and I forgot to ask you, but it's on the agenda, but, we're gonna have the dog parade again. So I think there's time to open on the next time's agenda to get your actual approval that we can have the dog parade. But I just kind of wanted to know if there were going to be any roadblocks, so to speak, for it, so that I can, you know, advertise, promote it a little bit.
Too many roadblocks.
roadblocks?
Well,
I know what you're saying, any issues
I
with
mean,
it?
it's one of those things that I didn't organize the last year, so I don't know, I don't know the way we're at.
Before us last year.
It's new to me, so this is a little lot for you and,
It's not a little dog parade.
oh, literal lot for
A
you.
little.
Oh, it's literal.
I don't recall it coming in front of us last year. Maybe it
Fire
did.
truck is gonna be, is already. I already have a fire truck doing it with principal. Locate us, lining up over at the school. And Santa Claus, I understand this afternoon, has not quite been engaged yet, but he will be there as well.
So it goes from the school to work.
Yeah,
So
those are the-
this way, down Main Street to the library where Santa Claus. Goes into the library and tells some stories.
It's fantastic.
There didn't seem to be any issues last year, but.
I don't have an issue, I just
Except
wasn't familiar with it.
You have a dog?
I do not, I don't know, I texted them.
Maybe have to get one in first for the parade.
I'll ask to have it on the agenda next time, so. They should be like, but I just wanted to put it out there.
Could we make it, we can't make it official now without it on the agenda. Is that right?
I think it might be best to.
Okay,
Yes, but it's best to have it.
thank you
Thank you
for
for
that.
Any other business?
Yes.
No.
So I have some other business. I think you probably all know I'm Will Danforth. I'm here just as an individual citizen, and I say that because I'm often associated with the Nature Museum, but I'm not speaking on their behalf, just as an individual. And I'm here to talk about invasives and the town plan. And I'm concerned about the spread of invasives. I unfortunately recognize them and I see them proliferating all over the place. Obviously, you can see knotweed, but many of you may not have seen the, for instance, burning bush that's proliferating on Middletown Road. It's spreading. And you can see what the ultimate result of that will be if you drive through Cambridgeport and you see the absolutely glorious, red, beautiful takeover of burning bush all throughout that stretch of road. Anyway, I want to compliment the town plan people, and you know, I'm not really sure the process here, but I'm assuming that if the town plan calls for recommendations and goals, then maybe it comes to the select board to, especially if it's a budget item, to carry forward on those. So I printed out a bunch of stuff from the town plan, and I want to compliment them for the amount of attention that they have given to this and to our scenic beauty and the health of the native flora and stuff like that. This plan, I think, was done, what, 3 years ago? And I wonder if there has been any action taken on some of those items. For instance, there are 2 mentions in here of conducting workshops to promote landowner education, to preserve wildlife habitat. There's a mention in, under the recommendations, and this is in the natural resources area, to encourage plantings. And this is generally along riparian areas, rivers. Encourage plantings of blah, blah, blah to combat the spread of invasive plant species. There's, encouraging the residents to learn to identify and then report invasive species to vermontinvasives.org. There's also a reference to work with the Nature Museum and the Grafton Improvement Association, but that's news to me. Plan for and protect water and wildlife resources. There's also a mention in here about continued introduction of exotic pathogens, insects and plants, and likely to be a constant onslaught of these types of foreign invaders in the future. So basically, I wanted to ask the question, what has been done to follow up on this town plan items? And if nothing, then I think a conversation should be started. And frankly, I think it could take time and money. It is a big choice because monocultures to me are the enemy of native plantings, and monocultures of invasives do not feed the insect populations. They're at the base of the food web. They're the only way. I may be repeating myself. I'm not sure how many of you read my articles in Grafton News, but this has been on my mind, so I put it in there. Basically, plants are the only way that the sun's energy is passed on to us, for instance, through insects, through birds, baby birds, amphibians, what have you, chickens, cows, everything we eat. So to me, it is a really important thing. It's way off in the distance. It's one of those easy things that you can say is important but non-urgent. And we somehow never seem to get around to treating it as urgent. So I'm feeling some urgency. And so I'm bringing it to you to hopefully start a conversation. I think getting a plan together would be a good idea. Maybe one just attacks one particular invasive, such as birdfish. Not weed, because maybe not weed is impossible. And it's already here. Although I must say that, and my apologies to the road crew, because I think they do a fantastic job. But cleaning off equipment would be a low hanging fruit, I think. It takes some time, and that time costs money. But that's a low hanging fruit to prevent the spread of knotweed, because it just takes a little bit of a node.
We try to knock it off all the time. We got a blower in the back and we blow it off, and when you get in, because we got now poison parsnip.
Yeah, we do.
And after I get done doing that, I make sure I shake the mower off and that stuff, so we are
Great.
aware.
It's fantastic to hear, thank you. So at any rate, I realize this may take time and money, and I think that some kind of a plan over the ensuing years would be a good thing to adopt and get it in the budget.
I agree, it is important, I think there are a lot of groups in town that should. That presumably have an interest in this, and that those, could there be another group? I'm not sure that. I mean, it's something important in terms of if there's a budget issue or whatever, in terms of investigating it and running workshops and things like that. I mean, should there be a group of interested people at the town level, I mean, that take this on, whether it's part of the Grafton Outdoor Alliance, GIA, we talk about all these different groups, and try to find a way to, make some concrete plans and see that there are plans and goals for the invasion, you know, for this invasion, if you wanna call it. And try to figure out how a group like that, how our role, what role we play, other than saying, yeah, we agree, let's throw some money at it. I think there's a big space between recognizing it and hearing about it and implementing it, like actually doing something about it. And I think that there should be, ideally, interested, and a focused group to make those recommendations to the board. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't mean to put in a lot of steps between the plan, which I will full on confession, would need to reread and understand. And better, maybe it's further along than I know, but I think there. What would, as far as I'm concerned, what would help the board is if someone said, this is gonna take this much time and this much money. And
Yeah.
this is what we gotta do, and this is stage one, and this is stage two. And then when we do budgets and things, we can figure that out. That's all I have.
So would the town planning board be the appropriate, office
If
to
they've got it.
create something and present a budget, present a plan to you?
It could happen that way, but you're on the planning commission. Have we addressed any of the issues that,
So we're going through the town plan now, for the next version.
Right.
So any input that you have can definitely be incorporated. And then there is, I mean, we don't generally put numbers on everything, but we can talk about priorities and the impact of not doing anything.
Right.
And make sure that that's well understood. I know the Village Park volunteers, have made a presentation to us as well, on invasive species and have requested, as far as the parks are concerned, that we look at that as well. I think, as Anna said, maybe we leverage some of the groups that are in town for recommendations. And some low hanging fruit, as you said, highway department's already taken care of some of that, but, kind of landowner education. There may be things that the state could support on that. I don't know if you were at that one, Dave, but at the fire station, one of the trainings, we had a representative from the state that was talking about the MO dashboard. They do have state, programs.
Oh, yeah.
that Are pretty good, they have a lot of information.
There's a lot of information all over the place, yeah.
And so maybe leveraging some of those groups to help landowners understand the impact and maybe, get them, motivated and taking action as well as the town. It's gonna be a big problem, and I don't know if it's just a town problem, it's a town and a landowner problem, both, right?
It is,
So,
and I must say, I was encouraged to hear Anna talk about the town, the town forest. Of course, that's just 140 acres of the
Right.
town,
right,
so,
and I know personally, the wild roses, Dave, that are taking over everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
Battling
it's-
against those at my house.
yeah.
So how can you do it? Have a blackboard or a good start.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I think we can talk about it on the planning commission, all my meetings mixed up. I think we're the second Tuesday of, every month.
Perhaps, you have, try to reach out to some kind of invasive expert.
Yeah.
That maybe, I don't know if it would be Intervale or U of M or the state, I am a member of the Vermont Biodiversity Alliance, and I wonder how many of you have heard of that? Because it's got all the movers and shakers. It's not a formal organization, they don't want to be a 501c3. But it's got the movers and shakers from the state, from the university, from the Nature Conservancy, the Center for the Vermont Ecological Vermont Center for BCE.
Yeah.
It's got all those people in it, and I know them, so I could, ask some to come down and present to the town
Yeah,
planner,
that-
for instance.
And I think that might be a good first low cost step.
Yeah.
You know, we could, or almost no cost, right, if they
Mhm.
volunteer, that we could start educating people.
Right.
And then we.
Well, I think
can-
that's the thing,
huge.
education, it's no different than the town. If we're digging and there's not weed, we take it back to town garage, because it's already contaminated there, we don't dump it in another spot.
Yeah.
Right, you're just
That's
spreading
great.
it. you know,
Yeah,
you're
we're aware of it
Yeah.
quite a bit, more
Yeah.
than people realize.
I agree.
Even my own self mowing fields. I got a battery blower that I
Yeah.
blow off my mower every field, that I move to, so I don't spread seed to seed.
Yeah, that's great.
You might try to put it in one spot,
Yeah.
just like.
The education of the public is a, kind of a challenge, because we've done workshops at the Nature Museum and very few people show up. I
Yeah.
mean, we've offered it, but.
Well, it's like the poison parsnip, some of it's in the guardrail. But they say to mow it early before it goes to seed, so you try to kill it off before it spreads, because
That's right.
that's what's happened with the state, they mowed it, and they don't care. They just keep bringing in more and more, because they learned how it spread bad.
For Route 7, for instance.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So, yeah, in addition to education, it's generating the interest, and then if we can do that. Then it would have a secondary effect of if we do look at the budget. People would understand why we're doing that and support it, rather than saying, oh, it's just more cost.
Well, why don't we talk, and I could, reach out to somebody on the Biodiversity Alliance, and maybe ask them to come in and give a presentation.
Yeah, and if you wanna come to the planning commission, we give
Sure.
give input there as well, and then we can see what we can organize.
That would be great. Thank you.
I think making as much noise about this as possible is something that would be a goal, and
Attention.
while there may have been events at the nature center, is there a forum coming up, or a time or a date where it could be a much
And
splashier, people more aware of it? I mean, I know we read the news and see what's new about town, and then you put it down and go about your daily business,
Well, it's
but
like the ash borer, I
yeah.
don't know if you guys really, but me driving around town, it is spreading.
yeah,
Oh,
Go
yeah,
down to Joan Lakes now. It's in all those trees down along the river now. You can see it. The bars
All
all.
the ashes are supposed to be dead in like 3 years. We're gonna lose them. Like,
Yeah, this just-
chestnuts.
Yeah, this just happened like in the last 2 weeks down by Jones. You can see the trees. The bark has changed. They're brown.
yeah. Well,
Is that some of that
there's
due
a
to
couple
the,
of park that-
No.
so, so,
thank you, for
Challenging.
telling
Yeah,
me.
it's challenging and it's disappointing, and that's the world that we've created.
Mhm.
So, what are you gonna do? I think you need to choose your battles. I mean, some things may be too established. Like knotweed. The problem with knotweed, of course, is it doesn't allow any saplings to grow up through it. So if it spreads by rhizomes, and it's very aggressive, I mean, they call it Godzilla plant in some areas. There's nothing that's gonna be there. Yeah, I think it's gonna take money and time,
Okay.
and it's a choice that we make, how much of our native habitat we want to sacrifice.
it's like kudzu down the south.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Kudzu down the south.
Kudzu.
taking over a lot
We
of.
got bittersweet up here.
Yeah, I got it everywhere.
Poison ivy and,
The last
Bittersweet.
two months, my husband's been, just my flower beds. Trying to clean up the roses, the bittersweet. We don't have knotweed,
Thank God.
but all the other stuff, I mean, you can't even pull it out of the ground. It's.
No, knotweed is unfortunately something you need to spray with chemicals if you're gonna
Yeah.
really get rid of it.
Yeah.
There are, I mean, I can tell you that up in the Mad River Valley in Waitsfield, there's one of the guys who started the Vermont Biodiversity Alliance, and they, because of, sort of mass, I would say, objections to glyphosate up there. They've got a bunch of people that come out every week to spend 1 hour pulling knotweed. Now, they're gonna be going at this for 10 years. Okay, you understand?
Didn't they also have the goats in Rockingham?
Goats,
Goats,
would be great.
Beef goats
Well,
around and round.
okay,
yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about my efforts to get goats over there on the Nature Museum.
The goats right now.
Goats would be great, they're not gonna get the roots, they're gonna have to be in there
Yeah.
for 10 years as well.
Mm.
And goats, you know, can be,
Both.
there can be their own issue. You know, you gotta control them, you gotta have electric fencing
Yeah.
around there, and they're gonna eat everything.
Well, thank you for coming to bring it up and see what we can organize or get together. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Every little bit of education helps. I was not aware of what poison parsnip was until I.
It's bad.
Oh, you don't wanna touch it.
And really, the
No, no,
town should
I
look
get
at
it.
spraying
It's worse than
water.
poison
We got
ivy.
very worse
It
spraying.
blisters up at you,
Yeah,
Is that pretty sensible?
I guess I don't.
Yeah.
That way.
and it's,
Well, poison
Lives on
parsnip is
the
a
carbon.
biennial, so if you cut it off, and it only blooms in the second year, and if you cut it off before the seeds spread, it won't come back.
Oh,
So I would say it's very dangerous because of the sap, and the sunlight will give you severe burns. But you can get rid of it, I think.
so that's cool.
okay.
Thank you.
Any other, is there public comment? Yes.
So
Lisa.
I would like to thank Ladies Douglas for coming to the last meeting to inform us about the important change back to from 181 in Jason to 50. And obviously it was new to all of us in the room. And I also want to thank Morgan very much for promptly sending out the information about the meetings that then followed. And I'm just wondering why we did not hear about this through our representatives, to our commissioners at the Wyndham Regional Commission. This matter has been up at all the regional commissions, and we do have, I believe, still 2 commissioners, and it is part of their task to report important relevant new information to the town. They serve at the pleasure of the select board. And we have not gotten any reports, to my knowledge, through our commissioners. And also I'm wondering whether our planning commission has been discussing this. I think, Buzz, you may have said that the planning commission is looking into this or is aware of it.
Oh, where Eric, Stevens actually brought up
Right.
the same issue.
Right, so this just raises this is a very important new law, which affects many landowners in this town and other towns that of course we are concerned about Bradford. And in the past, the commissioners to the Wyndham Regional Commission have communicated and brought back information. I remember about the enrolled ash borer years ago, we brought back information about that, as there was a lot of new information coming out. And other new laws or new grant opportunities. So I would like to ask the select board to make sure that our commissioners to the WRC keep the town informed about such important new laws and new developments.
Morgan, did you speak to somebody there last week or 2 weeks ago? When this came up after Craig spoke with us, or did you learn about it? Did they have anything to say?
I did speak with one individual who said that they're working within the Wyndham Regional Commission to update their regional plan to include this information. I will also mention that we Grafton has 2 representatives.
Okay.
That is Eric Stevens and Cheryl Kaufman. So I think those are probably the primary people that we should talk to. Because they're getting a lot of information from, or they're supposed to be from Wyndham Regional Commission. And then hopefully just tying it back to the town. Kind of like what Lisa said, just sharing relevant,
Right,
important details.
so we should probably.
Yeah. And I do know that, Tom Charlton is coming this week, next November
12th?
12th. To talk about Act 150, 181 and also the school formula. He'll be here at the town hall at 6:30. If you come at 6, you can have some pizza. It's on his radar, I believe he's gone to meetings at the legislature, and some of this is not completely in the law yet. There's all the different divisions of it.
So it is a law, but it is in the rulemaking process, which means that they are coming up with the details, how it's going to be implemented. It is law. And therefore, it would have been great if we had heard about it a little bit sooner. Either through the rep, that would be fine, we haven't heard from them, or specifically through our commissioners for the WRC. And not be completely blindsided. And then those dates for those upcoming meetings, they were like, one was, I think, the following night.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was very, very last minute and really very thankful to Fred for coming to the meeting and reporting.
I mean, I'd be happy to do it, or I don't wanna overstep my bounds, but I think it would be worth a call from either you or me or anyone to our Wyndham Regional reps and just speak that, you know, we are concerned that we didn't hear, I mean, whether it's, you know, the horse is out of the barn or not, I still think it'd be worth making the statement and being clear that we feel, you know, I don't know how it will be articulated, and I'd be happy to do it, or if you feel it's more appropriate for you to do it. But I think it's reasonable to have a conversation with them, so we are kept apprised of this stuff really quickly. And before it's after the fact.
Yeah.
Disappointing. And that would be a conversation, I'm sure you'd have with Tom. Or.
Yeah, I'll have it with Tom. I already emailed him several times about Act 181 when they came out in our meeting. So he's aware. If you wanna give
I'd be happy to do it.
Wyndham Regional
Yeah,
who to
I'll
speak with, that'd
happy
be
to
great.
call them, we'll talk to you and figure out who to call and follow up with it, and,
Please try to keep them on their toes that we need to be aware.
yeah, exactly. All right, have to do it, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Hearing none, our next meeting Monday, November 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Thanks for attending.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Well, second it. All in favor?
I.